They are off in the grand final for the Varsity 4A. Dave, this is a race you and I think is going to be so close between Brown, Princeton, Yale, and Harvard. It was a really competitive preliminaries.
Well, they can't get any closer than that second varsity race. That was incredible, not only for the closeness, but the entire race, with two crews going close to 40 strokes a minute all the way down the course. Really, really remarkable. The physiology and the conditioning, the practice that takes to be able to maintain that level is truly special.
Here's a look at our boating lineups. We'll start with Brown. And Brown is a very experienced crew. They were third in this race at the NCAA championships last year, led by Signe Henderson. They will be challenged by Yale, who was second last year at the NCAA championships. Yale stroked by another senior, Kendall Chapin. You can see that these two schools put some real pride into these races by putting seniors in these boats in the stroke. Then it's Princeton. They have a junior in their stroke seat. Two freshmen, two juniors in the boat, along with a sophomore coxswain. And rounding things out for Harvard, freshman coxswain, junior stroke, Emily Gaudani. Heidi Naka's a fun rower to watch in that third seat, and Lauren Blakey in seat 2 as a senior. This is her final Ivy League championship race. They get close to the 500 mark with about a minute 30 gone. And as expected, it's Yale with a very good start. They have a little bit of ground up on Brown right now. Those are the two we expect to be neck and neck at the wire.
Princeton's right there with them. It looks like Princeton and Yale out in front, Brown and Harvard, but there's nothing in it. I mean, there can't be a length from first to fourth.
Well, we had two of the closest preliminary heats of the entire day in this Varsity 4A preliminary heats. Harvard Radcliffe went stride for stride with Brown early on in that first heat. In the second heat, Yale and Princeton were neck and neck. Yale, this is maybe the event they take the most pride in. Second at the NCAA championships in this event last year, and they are rolling right now with a very good start.
Now they're at 36 strokes a minute. They've got 3/4 of a length over Princeton. Princeton another half a length up on Brown, and then another half length back to Harvard. So a length and a half from first to fourth. Harvard's right there with Brown. They may not be a deck back of Brown. Yale sitting with their stroke on the bowman of the bowman of Princeton. Princeton rowing a little bit higher. They're choosing the same tactic that worked so well for their second varsity.
Now, Princeton and Brown have each won a grand final. Princeton wins the Ivy League championship with the first varsity win. Brown, by a nose, took the second varsity race ahead of Princeton, but now Yale in its signature event has a slight lead on Princeton. Brown making a move. They're starting to gain a little bit of ground on the outside.
Yeah, Princeton's rowing at 38, Yale at 35 and a half. Brown is 37 or 38 as well. Brown just starting to creep away from Harvard a little bit. Brown's got a full half length now on Harvard. Brown getting back on terms with Princeton. You're absolutely right. Brown is making their move as they approach the 1,000-meter mark.
Brown led by Signe Henderson in this boat. She's the lone senior in the boat for the Bears, the stroke. She was with the U.S. national team at the Maccabee Games and also the freshman camp for the U.S. national team in 2013. After Signe Henderson in this Brown boat, you also have Gina Fram, Claire Benning, and Kinane Tiersma. A very, very good, strong four. But Yale has been good too this season. And they have been an outstanding group to watch so far this year and last year as well at the V4 level.
Yale's rowing a little bit lower than both Brown and Princeton. Brown and Princeton at 37. Brown now moving just level and perhaps a seat ahead of Princeton. Brown trying to get on terms with Yale. At 1,000 meters, it's Yale in gold medal position, Brown in silver, Princeton in bronze. Harvard trails Princeton by 1 boat length.
There's still very little between those top 3 boats. Neck and neck past the first 1,000. We've gone past the 4-minute and 30-second mark. We have about 750 meters to go. Princeton, Yale, and Brown, still Yale in first. Yale, Brown, Princeton, all going to be in the thick of the NCAA championship race here in a couple of weeks in this event as well.
Well, Brown certainly choosing a higher rating, and they're forcing it a little bit. You can see that their slide control is not what Yale's is, but it's working for them because they're continuing to eat into the Yale lead. Now Yale, perhaps in the closing minutes of the final of the third 500, deciding to add a little bit of energy to it. And Yale is opening up. They've got probably 5 seats over Brown. Brown just a seat ahead of Princeton. I'm thinking that Princeton's looking pretty good in bronze position. Princeton looks like they may be able to do something here in the last 500.
We're at that 500 meters to go mark with 5:27 unofficially. Yale has first place. They have led wire to wire. Brown in second, Princeton in third. Who has enough left in the tank to make another big move?
Bill, this is a 3-boat race. Nobody is out of gold position at this point. Princeton on their home course currently in third, but I think they're a very dangerous crew in this final 500. Yale is starting to open up a little bit on Brown, so perhaps Yale has been saving a little bit for their final sprint. The Yale stroke is just about level with the coxswain for Brown, the bow-loaded coxswain. It's going to be a very interesting race for all 3 medals, gold, silver, and bronze.
Yale was second in this event at the NCAA championships last year, just ahead of Brown. Brown was third last year, and here's Princeton, who now has maybe snuck ahead of Brown. They are very close neck and neck. We have them basically dead even in the race for second. Looks like Yale still has about a 3-seat, maybe even a full 4-seat lead on Princeton and Brown.
Yeah, with just 2:50 to go, Yale's in a good position. Last year at the NCAAs, they did not overtake Brown until the final 5 strokes of the race. It was that close. And now it looks like they've got a little bit of lead. Can they hold it? Brown pulling away from Princeton just a bit. Brown has maybe a full 1.5 seats on Princeton. There's nothing in this race.
Yeah, we could be closing in on another photo finish, if not for first, definitely for second. Brown, Princeton, neck and neck in second place. They still have 3 seats or more that they need to take back from Yale here down the wire with only about 10 to 12 strokes to go.
Yale looks confident. I think maybe they've got a gold medal for their effort today.
Bulldogs were third in the last race, third in the varsity 8. They look like they are taking first in the varsity 4. Yale to the finishing line, and they win it wire to wire. Ivy League champs in the varsity 4 for second place. It is so close. Looks like Brown may have just clipped Princeton, but again, we will need to wait for some official confirmation there. One thing we do know, Yale takes the race and takes first place. Dave, what did you see in the finish for second there?
I don't know. I thought it was very, very close.
Yeah.
It did look like Brown had the advantage, but I wouldn't dare call it from behind where we were.
Hey, well, we let the timers set the cameras up. They might as well use them today. A couple photo finishes in a row here in the last couple events. It has been a really fun first 3 grand finals, and we have more coming. Coming up next is the grand final for the varsity 4B. That's next here on the Ivy League Digital Network.